In this video, we're going to discuss your return position and definitely where you should not be. Now, I know I sound like I'm a little bit frustrated, but I've seen so many players put themselves in this location, and it's one of the worst things that you can do if you're trying to return serve effectively. So one of the big areas that we focus on with our clinics and workshops around the world is playing points. And what seems to happen is when we get into points, everyone forgets all the technical and tactical stuff that we were doing. They just focus on the ball and focus on winning every single point, which is fine. But when it comes to this part of the court, and we're talking about the side glass now, we almost primarily use this with the return. Yet sometimes it'll happen in a point that the volley will come in and you'll play with the side glass, but the majority of the time it's with the return. And very few people practice the return. They don't often get a server to serve a whole basket and they get themselves in a good position from this side glass. And so what happens is that players lack confidence with the side glass and therefore they change their court position here. And what we often see are players standing right next to this side glass here because they're thinking, oh, I can get in there quickly and hit the ball before it hits the side glass. But no, that is not the right way to be doing it. So first I'll explain why this is a bad idea. If you stand here, you first of all, yes, potentially you could lunge forward and you could take one ball slightly quicker because you're slightly closer to it, but there's a couple of problems. First of all, from here, if they do hit the glass, you don't have the time to get out of the way of the ball. Yeah, you're going to have to step across and move out that way, and you're going to end up being jammed into the body here. And secondly, and also very importantly, you leave a massive gap down the middle so they could serve down the tee and actually have quite an easy serve to put you under pressure. This positioning is really born out of the fact that you are not comfortable with the side glass and you don't have confidence hitting that ball after the rebound. And the problem is that if you do this and you keep, jabbing it back, you will reach a certain level, but you will reach a certain level where you still cannot use the side glass. And unless you have repetition and you get used to the ball rebounding off and you understand the spacing, then you will never get better at that shot. And it's physically impossible. Even if I was returning against an average server and I start here and they serve against the side glass, it's going to be very difficult for me to get out of the way. So it's important that you keep a good position, with space here, and one step back from your normal backcourt position gives you a little extra time, and then anything that is going to hit the front part of this side glass, you get used to the distance. Yes, maybe one or two times or a handful of times you might get a little bit close, or you might be a bit too far away, or you might judge the rebound not quite so well, but you will be surprised how quickly you pick this up. In an ideal world, you could get a partner or someone to serve that basket in there and you do repetition, and after 20 or 30 balls you're going to feel very comfortable with this shot because it is literally just confidence. The ball comes out, and once the ball goes to a certain point on the glass, it's going to rebound out to you, and that is the key. Even if they're serving with slice, the ball is going to rebound out. That is exactly why the rule is there for the serve, that they have to contact waist height, because it means they have to hit up, and therefore the ball is going to bounce. Even with a lot of slice, it's going to come up off that glass. So many players are worried that once it hits the glass, it's going to immediately die. It won't. Allow it to come off that glass. And if you don't believe me, then get someone to practice the serve against you and put yourself in that position and allow that ball to rebound. And that's what we do with our students. And yes, it is very unpopular for the first 5 or 6 balls until they realise that the rebound comes out to them, and actually then they've got space to swing, and suddenly this shot becomes a lot easier. The serve and the return are two really important parts of the game when you're playing at a recreational level that people don't practice. So see if you can get someone to practice. It's good for them because they can practice the accuracy of the serves, and it's good for you because you can practice your returns, and then you can always swap over. And even if you do that for 5 minutes, it's really valuable training. And most of the time when you're playing in a sociable game, maybe all 4 of you want to practice serve and returns for 5 minutes, and it will instantly improve how you actually play during that match. Now, up in this corner, I'm going to put a video on how you can return that ball that comes low with slice, because that is often somewhere that people find difficult.